Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the eSports Report. Finally, at the end of the Season 3 Relegation Tournament recap. And what a way to end with Isolation Esports, who, I mean, where did these guys even really come from? They go in as a big dark horse. No one expects them to really do anything. And they go 7-1 for record and 23-6 in map count.
Yep. I mean,
this team just dominates and respawns. It was just not even funny how much that, like, they ended up with a 17-2 respawn record. That's a game win right there. And look at the players. We have Llama God, Dito, Havoc, and Silly. We only have player.
Yo, what's up, Dito?
Hey, Dito.
Playing with 3 ghosts. No one knew. No, like literally, no one knew anything about this team.
They were such a dark horse for this tournament.
They really were.
I mean, Llama King, Llama God, same thing. But
I mean, bit of a difference between a god and a king.
That song, No Church in the Wild.
I think that's his GB account.
Stop.
That's I mean, all right. What's a king to a god? All right. Anyway.
Sing time with Max?
No sing time. No sing time. We're looking at the champions. Isolation.
Right, let's take a look at the game types and how dominant they were. 10-1 hardpoint, 7-1 uplink.
Wait. Let's go to hardpoint. 10-1 hardpoint. Almost
56.
60 score difference.
Now the crazy thing about that is
that's just
they
like
could get outslayed in hardpoint and still win.
Yeah.
Oh
well,
yeah.
We saw that in the proc game.
10-1
about that. But
10-1.
That's absolutely nuts.
That's basically what won them the finals. They were 3-0 in hardpoints.
I wonder who
they lost 7-1 as well. Like you're basically winning every single respawn.
They won that first series in the grand finals, game 4. They win that hardpoint, and then they get into another best of 5, and they get a hardpoint to start it off again. So if you're Epsilon, you're just like, well,
great.
We just lost.
How do we stop
2 hardpoints? Let's do another one.
I mean, it's not like their S&D sucked either.
Nope.
6-4. Team KD 1.11. Like that's impressive in itself, but the score difference only plus 1 point, so drastically closer. Max, talk to me about the strongest player from the squad.
Yeah, so there's really no weak player to look at this team. So we just took a look at the strongest player, and then we'll break down their team stats. Strongest player goes to Silly. Well-deserving. 1.11 overall KD. Finished 5th in the Slayer rating with 34.08. Had the most kills per hardpoint out of anyone in the tournament, averaging 39 kills per hardpoint.
39 kills per hardpoint.
That's
like a 40 bomb. Basically a 40 bomb.
We just looked at a player who broke out in terms of hardpoint slaying and royalty, and Silly was like, nah. This is my event. This is my event.
Even in the grand finals.
Sit down. This is my time to shine.
Yeah, you silly. This is me. I'm silly. But
what?
You stop being so silly over there. I don't know.
He's saying you're silly.
No, I'm saying no. He said royalty. Stop being so silly. This is my event.
Crap joke.
Crappy joke number 2. 1.15 hardpoint KD, 9.55 caps per game, and then 3 defense per game. And then, I mean, 1.03 uplink KD, 2.3 uplinks per game.
Hold on.
Even in the grand final,
look at that grand final. 1.36 hardpoint KD in the grand final.
Yeah.
This is a player who basically just loved every moment of playing in the final.
They just told them, kill everything you see in that.
And that's what he did, right? That's exactly what he did.
Exactly what he did.
Let's talk about the team stats. They go 17-2 in respawn game modes, first of all, before we get to the individual overall stats. They go 5-0 solo hardpoint. They don't lose a solo hardpoint.
Yeah, another 3-0 in Detroit uplink. Those were their best maps throughout the tournament. And then we have everyone going above 30 in the Slayer rating, and that's just like every single player. So you're just like. Kill.
What?
Who's the expert?
Again, CTF, no 5-second respawn delay.
Right. But still,
everyone 30.
I mean, that explains
why
I
think they were the only one in the tournament to do that. I could be wrong though.
Talk to me about the X Factor.
Yeah, Dito definitely the X Factor. He had a 1.15 KD when they won, a 0.76 when they lost, and then
interesting.
Yeah, if you want to talk about that Havoc as an X Factor for S&D. He had a 1.71 when they won.
Wow, 1.71.
We saw him drop, 16 kills in the Riot S&D before, and a 0.97 when they lost. So,
that's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, Havoc definitely stepping up in S&D, and then everyone had a positive KD in the grand finals. But I mean, let's just take a look at the overall stats.
These are the overall stats, right?
Yeah.
Overall KD, a 1.1 from Dito, 1.06 from Havoc, 1.11 from Silly. Llama God 0.96. Did anyone go negative?
He was also the main OBJ for that squad, so it's reasonable.
Slay rating. I mean, you talked about it before, JP. Everyone over 30. Even your OBJ guy going 30 plus. Now, again, this isn't against the best teams in the game. top 8 squads in the world weren't there, but they absolutely destroyed everyone that was playing for their spot in Season 3. For now, let's take a look at game number 4. It's Solo Hardpoint versus Epsilon in the Grand Finals. It's the first series as well. Honestly, this is just such great play from Isolation. They deserve it. Congratulations again, ISO, on qualifying for Season 3. You played out of your minds. But now let's sit back and enjoy the commentary.
That's going to be 4 down right off the rip. And let's see how much time they're able to soak up here. You see the spawners coming in. That's 3 down again. Epsilon just getting smoked here early on.
Yeah, Havoc picking up 2 big kills there. Llama God on your screen, just hanging out in the hill. Finally, he's taken out. But 16 free seconds pretty much for ISO at the start of this game. You know, might not look like it's huge, but with these 2 teams so close in skill, you know, at the end of the game, might actually come back to really help Isolation.
Yeah, all of these, I feel like they are going to be coming down to the wire. We're going to have a ton of incredibly close games. The S&D, obviously, very lopsided, but I think the respawns are going to be really, really close.
Especially because Isolation's so warmed up. I mean, they've been playing all day pretty much. Epsilon had 1 game, and then they have this one, so Isolation comes in with the hot hand.
All right, let's see here. We got Havoc on our screen. I'm going to switch over to Silly, actually, as he's been having some monster respawns. You saw him drop, what, 43 and 25 or something like that in the game 1 hardpoint. Then he drops a goose in the game 2 S&D. I get a feeling he feels he has something to prove here in this game 3.
He's been so up and down.
Sorry.
I mean, Dito getting off to a nice start. He was 6-3, make it 6-4, but Silly, really the story for this Isolation lineup. 11-4. Was on a 2 streak right there at 12-5. Actually, he ended up getting that kill. I was shocked as well, but it's going to be Isolation with a huge lead, up by 30 here against Epsilon.
And everyone just getting melted right now. We'll see as they're all trying to push in Viper control here, and that's going to be Remy coming up with a couple of big kills in the hard point. They're trying to catch up. They're trailing by 20 or so points right now. Several down for either side. 10 seconds left. You should be these next spawners.
They should just focus on Garage, Maven. You know, if they're able to get Garage and hold it, obviously they're going to be able to take the lead, and it's going to be Swanee, the only one in Garage for Epsilon. He's going to be able to get 1. He's going to have to dip out of the hill, just trying to stay alive and wait for his teammates to get over there, give him some support.
That was very, very well done, as he was just in a lot of trouble. Royalty able to help out Swanee pick up that kill as he was getting pushed from his right side. Now they're going to try and fly in. There's 1. Can they find the second? Nagathon got 2. I think Remy was able to get it. Swanee gets 1 as well, and that is going to give them complete control. Now, who's this player pushing out left side? That's going to be Remy. He gets out, gets 1. Should be able to catch a second. There's 2. He's going to drop to the 3rd, but he did an excellent job. That's exactly what you need from Remy there. Just trying to push them out, keep them at bay. Getting a kill or 2 there is huge, but they kept that B spawn. They're just going to keep swarming and swarming and swarming and swarming. There's only so many waves you can kill before you're just going to drop.
You're going to get overwhelmed after a certain period of time, and what I love about Remy, you know, we talked a little bit about it before, is he starts off slow, now 7-13, but doesn't change his play style. Knew he had to push out that cut, as you see Dito miss a bunch of shots on Nagathon. Knew he had to push out that cut. Even when he's not shooting the hottest, he does it because he knows it's the right play for the team. Eventually starts to pick up in his gameplay over time. You're going to see Epsilon rotate to this top 1 early. Looks like they're going to have 2 players up here. It's going to be Royalty, and then there's another player in the hill. It's going to be Remy. You needed an AR player up there. I wonder where the ARs of Epsilon are at this moment in time. You have Nagathon attacking from the left, but Swanee, that's going to be him on the right-hand side. You needed them to be there, though, right fast on rotation.
Bad time to reload. You see your teammate drop inside, able to get the hip fire, though. Nagathon not able to pick up another. It's the ARs, though, that are really getting the slaying done right now, but they need to help their slubs. You see it 14, 13, 12, and 11, but there's a couple times we've kind of seen Royalty and Remy, to a degree, kind of left out the dry.
Right there on rotation, they were left out to dry. I mean, they get there first, they each win a gunfight, but you're not going to be able to win at the top against those ARs. I mean, Llama God and Dita are 2 very talented ARs, not going to win those gunfights long range with a sub all the time.
And right now they look completely outmatched in hardpoint. If you can't win hardpoints, you're not going to win the series, especially with the recent change, implementing 2 into these best of 5s. Dito started to get rolling. His shots looked a little off earlier, but that hasn't stopped him from being at 18 and 12. And now we're rotating to our 5th and final hill. Somebody in very, very early. That's going to be Nagathon, and he is going to allow his teammate, who have got highlighted, that was Royalty, spawn in the back
Epsilon just needs to get this close going into the second half. I mean, if they can get this lead of ISO down, you know, 15-20, they'll be in good shape, but it doesn't look likely, Maven, as you see ISO, they're going to push straight through, take out all the players of Epsilon. Now they're all going to be spawning cross map. Have Dito on your screen, he's going to pick up 1, but you see Royalty and Nagathon flying in. God. Swanee's going to get into the hill as well. Going to pick up some kills for Epsilon as they're going to take the hill back.
All right, you have Remy in the hill. You have Nagafin up top, trying to control as best he can. Remy's struggling right now. He's one of those guys that's pretty much guaranteed, you know, for those like 35 and 35 games with lots of caps, and right now he's only got 3 caps and 10 and 22. What's going wrong right now for Remy?
He always starts off pretty slow. I mean, we've seen this the last few times in hardpoint from Epsilon. You're going to see Nagafin picking up 2. Can he finish the third? He's going to drop down. He's going to be able to pick up 1. Still another player coming outside of blue.
For Nagafin.
Yeah, 4 there for Nagafin, but still the game not too close at this moment in time. Maven, it's going to take a lot for Epsilon to come back.
All right, you see them lower. We're on our second side of rotations now. They're trailing by 60. We saw them down 60 in a Detroit hardpoint earlier today, I believe, against, what was that, Orbit, which they were able to come back. Let's see if they can do it again. Nagafin warming up. He's on a 6 streak at 24 and 18. Let's see if he can keep it rolling.
And I say this, if Epsilon's able to come back and win this hardpoint, Maven, I think they win this first series. I don't think ISO bounces back in the last surge, so it's extremely important for ISO to close it out now.
I could not agree with you more, but the question is, can they actually do it? So on, he gets 1. He sees 1 down below a window there. Not going to be able to get eyes on another. Trailing by 50. They managed to come back by a few points in this view. You can see ticking away is Lamagot. He's the one in there trying to soak up the final points. There's still 12 left on it. They cannot allow him to get all of these points. It's not garbage time yet, especially when you have such a short rotation over to that B-bomb site.
Right, you're going to be able to go over to B right from mid-cut and up top on railing, so you might as well take all the time there. Epsilon elects to rotate early. They're going to have to win these gunfights. You see Silly pushing from mid-cut with an AR. He's got 1 player directly around the corner from him. It's going to be Remy. They're going to be able to take him out. Nagafin just trying to throw nades into the hill. Silly still alive. Going to be contested. Going to have another player come in, take his spot in the hill. Going to let him get set up top with an AR. And I like this play out of the guys on isolation. But as I say that, Royalty putting good pressure through for Epsilon. Epsilon starting to make a little bit of a push here, Maeve.
A little bit of a push, but not really in the score department. They haven't been able to narrow the gap much at all. It's 66 right now. You only have 3 hills left to work with. In my opinion, they have got to control that parking one. That's where they got beat up. They got there first, didn't have the AR cover, got completely dominated. Got to come back in this one. And they need Remy to come alive, man. You said slow starts, but he's at 15 and 32 now. That's no longer a slow start.
That's a bad, it's a bad game this far. It's not a slow start anymore. It's kind of transitioned to a bad game. It's going to be ISO. Going to be getting that control of Garage first, which is going to be dangerous for Epsilon. They're down 65 points right now. They need everything on this Garage hill. They need to break it right away, and you're going to see Silly and Dito picking up some kills. You see Silly doing a great job rotating across the map. Going to be trying to get these cuts. He's going to have 3 players in front of him. Going to be able to get all of them. Nagafin, the only one alive for Epsilon. He's actually going to be able to get in the hill. Silly
That's
goes massive.
He just gets 4 in a row there. He crossed the entire map. His first kill was basically by the B site catching a rotator. He dashes the whole way across to the opposite position. Has 3 players basically fall into his lap by getting into that corner there. That was impressive and fun to watch. Silly coming up with the plays.
Yeah, and Epsilon, they're going to be really behind the 8 ball here. Maven Dito's going to pick up 2. Silly with another. I mean, Dito coming up with a massive game, 38 and 25. You expected those types of games out of him here in the biggest moments for this ISO squad. It's got to be good, you know, for some young players to look towards their leader in a game like this and him go absolutely massive in a closeout game here in the first best of 5.
Yeah, and this one, I mean, it's almost going to be mathematically impossible in just a matter of ticks, really. It's, just under 2 minutes left to play. They have an 83-point advantage. They've already been set up in parking lot. You see Silly's going to be here with the ball.
Nobody even close to the hill.
No.
Either.
And last time they got in first, they only had their sub-players. They had no one there to cover these long streets. I mean, if there's any hardpoint here where you have to have a bow, it's going to be the parking lot.
And Remy right there, he jumps in, he picks up the first kill. Nobody even close to the hill to try and trade.
And what's crazy is I've been talking about these big kills by Silly that we've been seeing him get. Dito right now is at 43 and 26. He's actually matching almost the exact numbers we saw at a Silly in the game 1 hardpoint.
You know, Dito got off to a really weird start. We saw him miss some shots that he normally hits, but he definitely has heated up here in the second half, wanting to extend this to his second best of 5. Right there, Remy making a fantastic play. I don't know how the hell he was able to kill Dito.
I don't know where those plays were the rest of this one, as he's at 23 and 40, not having a strong one right now. But do you think this is more... Who takes more of the blame here? Is it the lack of maybe support from the ARs, or just the poor game from their subs here? Royalty and Remy not really going off.
Yeah, I think it was a combination of everybody. I think Remy didn't have a fantastic game by any stretch of the imagination. Neither did Swanee. Swanee goes 26 and 33.
Just a bit of everyone then.
Right, it's just a little bit of a combinational effort. I mean, Royalty goes 31 and 38. Is that the worst for a player who's going to be just attacking the hill and putting that much pressure? No. I think you're kind of okay with that.
Probably the worst one we've seen him have.
That's the worst one we've seen him have. I mean, if everyone's kind of entitled to a few games where you kind of slip a little bit. It's just unfortunate. This is the one that happens for him. Nagafen comes up with a good game, running the AR and a sub. 39 and 34. It's going to be 12 caps for Nagafen. With 15 seconds left, Maven, this is going to be a series win for Isolation Esports. So that means we are going to see a second best of 5. No continuation. It's going to go to a second best of 5. Winner of that wins the entire tournament.
All right, they managed to push it. We've only seen this at what? We saw it at the first Columbus event. We saw it at UMG Cali. This year we see it twice, right?
I feel like almost every...
So, congratulations once again to Isolation Esports with the first place finish. And we should take a look at our final top 8 placings. Who finished what? $5,000. Isolation take first. Epsilon second. Orbit third. And Optic Nation take away fourth. And they also qualify for Season 3. So, a big round of applause and congratulations to them. Just missing out was Prophecy and Synergy in 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th was Strictly Business and VVV. So, that kind of concludes our coverage of the Season 3 relegation tournament, and now I really want to just get into a little bit of Roster Mania. Now, we have a lot to really kind of cover, but really briefly, I just want to kind of show you guys currently who the free agents are. And there's a lot of big names on this list who you can kind of sit there and be like, how the hell has this happened?
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, you look at the top 3, Aqua, Apathy, Aches. Those are
that's just like, what the
all
hell
prof, just like, and then you have Octane, obviously. So I'm guessing this prof teams breaks up, and they're all free agents for Season 3.
I mean, you got second place at Champs, Aqua. You got a world champion in Aches.
And this is by no
world champion in JCap.
order, just
like, yeah, this is no particular order. We just kind of
Yeah.
threw them together, and you can kind of just see the quality of players who are actually available. And you know, we talked about some of these teams who've just kind of qualified. You can't tell me you look at this pool and you don't think about making team changes. I mean, for me, I look at obvious players who are going to try and stick together here. I think Apathy and Sensor. I think maybe we see a bit of a reunation, or they reunite.
They reunite.
They reunite. I think that would make sense.
It's
Maybe
reunion.
do they reunion? There you go.
I was thinking about it too. I was like, what is it?
Do they try and steal maybe Saints from Envy? I could see that as a huge possibility. I don't think that would be too ridiculous. I don't think he's been kind of too happy. If you look at Saints' placements on AW, for a player who's consistently going positive every event, placement's pretty awful.
Yeah.
Let's be honest.
Yep.
And Saints has kind of been, I won't say irrelevant for a large majority of AW, but you haven't seen him play too much. Big question mark on JCap. Where do you guys think he ends up?
I mean, I definitely 100% think he makes it on an S3 team.
Elevate,
I can't
feel
see.
Like. I feel like Elevate makes sense for Cap a little bit. Team of Classic.
I mean, if Replays went over to Elevate and Cap went over to Elevate 2, that would make a lot of sense because Replays and Classic. Yeah, I know.
Right.
Replays and Classic are like really good friends, and I feel like that team would have good chemistry. But Replays is on denial. And do you think you see J-Cap going to Elevate?
No.
Yeah.
I could see him on Envy.
No.
Why not?
Who you drop for J-Cap?
Well, I can see Saints leaving.
Why would Saints leave?
To go to a better
To go
team?
play with Apathy and Sensor?
On a non-league
really?
season team?
No, on a season team.
Oh, you're talking about some
dirty.
Some dirty dirt. Ben's got the intel. Hashtag
no.
intel.
I just think that team would make sense. I think Apathy kind of underperformed a little bit. Played with a team that you should have thought guaranteed would qualify. But big question mark on Madcat. The hell just happened with TCM? They just dropped their best player.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, let's
And
be honest,
he had a
that
great
best-
X Games too.
That best player by a mile too. Like it's not even close. He is without a doubt TCM's best player, and he's now been dropped. Do we see him in North America again?
I hope so. He's real good with that bow. He's real good.
But do we see it? I know you hope so, but do we actually see it?
Maybe Epsilon? Do you think him and Swanee team together?
Maybe. I think that would make some sense.
Yeah.
With Jared.
Maybe they bring over Judd from TCM.
Yo.
Maybe they
You
take
got
maybe
squad.
they take Aqua as well. You can't tell me that wouldn't be a nasty team.
That would be
you
pretty
got
nasty.
Judd and Aqua running your SMGs,
Jared-
hyper aggressive.
Jared, Aqua,
Then you have
Swanee,
Madcat
Madcat.
and Swanee as your ARs.
Oh
Oh
my god.
out there killing the game. That'd be a sick team. That'd be a
Yay.
nasty team. And what happens to Merc? I feel like Merc and Aches are kind of in a similar position.
Yeah. I mean, he did have a really good event for AR, but his team like just didn't show up.
Essentially.
I think he had a positive KD, he was really carrying that team, and AR just wasn't able to take that W or at all in that tournament.
What were you going to say?
I was going to say, the only team I really saw making a roster move was probably Orbit. But, I mean, after finding out that Facento and Accuracy have been best friends since they were 11, that's not going to happen anymore.
Pretty much. It's worth mentioning some notable players as well. Now, these are players who are currently in a team,
or not on a team, right?
We could definitely see going elsewhere. I mean, you start at the top.
As
Killer,
they've been on a season team at one point.
Yeah,
in the
I mean, just all of these guys, you could make a big argument, could somehow sneak onto a team in the league. I mean, Killer, Visit, John, and Twiz. Do we finally pull the plug on Killer?
Yeah.
Is this just simply not his game? Does he just kind of throw away his Xbox One?
Yeah, Parasite there, but probably
obviously
going to E6.
He's on E6, but you can't tell me he isn't looking to go on a league team.
Right.
I mean, even the notable others. Like, it's a stacked pool of talent.
Yeah, like, you can't really say any team outside of season, not in Season 3 is 100% secure.
Yeah.
I feel like you really can't. You really can't. I mean, we have some notes on Roster Mania to just kind of briefly talk about. I mean, Team Caliber, they released Parasite, pick up TJ as his replacement.
Yep.
Is that TK done?
I don't know.
No,
that's a weird looking squad if you think about it.
Like, if you would have told me TJ Howley's on TK for Season 3 of AW Pro League, I would have been like,
what?
What? What do you
Doesn't make sense. TCM, drop Matt Cat, best player.
That was probably the most surprising. Like, what?
Most surprising move since United dropping Mbos after winning an event.
Prophecy, don't even make it to the league. Apathy, Aqua, Aches, Octane, all free agents. I mean, that talent pool right there is just absurd.
Yeah,
I feel kind of sorry for Prophecy because they finally got themselves a solid team.
They don't get that league spot.
And they get a league spot, everyone just leaves. Strictly Business, Antisti, Spacely, Study, TCM, they all announced free agency as well.
And they've all been in league teams before, so I wouldn't be a surprise if they went back.
Freaky Toast who tweeted out, well, if 20K is not enough to buy a league spot, then I don't know what is. So apparently they offered 20K to some team for a league spot. Like,
and they said no.
I'll get a league spot. You give me 20K for a league spot, you got it, it's all yours.
But is it... Would you really? If I had a league spot, I don't think I'd sell it for 20K.
Well, team, like, I guess
20, you think about it, 20,000.
Are you on like a lower end team, or are you like?
Yeah.
But at that point, it doesn't matter.
Really?
If I'm selling you my spot, okay, $20,000. Think about the cost of sending a team to an event. You want to send one team to an event? You got the travel for 4 players and hotel, 2 rooms for a weekend. Like, that's basically half of your 20K right there.
Yeah.
If you think of it that way.
I guess.
Like 20K in like full perspective is nothing.
Well, I mean, like, if you're a team like Orbit, like, just hypothetically, we're speaking hypothetically here. Orbit, spend X amount of money. We'll say, how much money to really send all these players to Season 3 relegation?
Probably not that much.
Right. 20,000. Some team offers $20,000. Like, okay, I just made $15,000 profit, say whatever, right? And, like, Orbit has, what, a CSGO team? Like, they're involved in other esports?
I guess. Maybe. I feel like it's a team along those lines that's just got in or kind of on the cusp. Like 7th, 8th. I think E6 as well is a good team who maybe consider trying to buy a spot.
Yeah.
That wouldn't surprise me at all. Automatic Reload, of course, Merc announces his free agency. No surprise there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that team was weird.
He's been on some
weird
weird teams
team.
That team was weird.
Very strange. Of course, Enigma 6 failed to get the league spot from Season 3. Announced that Parasite would be joining the team. Also hints at Aqua joining. But I don't think Aqua's going to join E6 if they don't have a league spot because he's come out publicly and said, if I'm not playing in Season 3, I'm going to school. I'm not playing.
Yeah, he's going to hit the books. But, I mean, honestly, everyone's saying, oh, no, Aqua's on E6. No, go look at the E6 Enigma 6 group on Twitter. It says Prof Aqua with a question mark next to it. So,
it's not
confirmed.
And you can read Aqua's own tweet. He was like, just so you know.
I mean, it's a smart move by him. He's checking all of his options.
Yeah, it has to. Because, like,
he's a good player. So
who else is E6 going to get?
Honestly.
That's better than Aqua.
Right, honestly. I mean.
Not that many. Unite and Aware. Both organizations kind of teased announcements recently.
Oh, Unite.
Aware tweeted, Unite tweeted
Unite's
out.
back.
They tweeted, it's time in all caps. And, you know, people are like, we haven't heard of you in over
God
a
knows
year.
how long.
And over a year. So
Where have you been?
yeah, what have you been doing? And then Aware, you know, they've kind of been a little bit absent since selling their spot to TCM. Maybe they try to pick up a team, but again, do they buy back into the league? Probably not. That'd be really weird to sell your spot and then buy back in.
And before TCM buying a West spot was like only for a season.
And then Aware.
Can you
Aware
imagine
comes
that?
back.
Can you
We're
imagine
back,
that? Aware
boys.
comes back.
What?
Because I mean, we don't know exactly what the contract said when they bought the league spot. If it was just for one season.
They wrote in like 2 fonts, like your spot runs up at the end of the season.
If you qualify again, we get the spot back. I mean,
Read the fine print.
who knows? Like I doubt.
I don't know what the
doubt that
MLG
would
ruling
be-
about that is, but like,
in TCM's position with visas, like something along those lines could actually, which I know a lot of people are like, that's stupid. Why the hell would anyone do that?
Right.
yeah.
But that could actually make a lot of sense.
Yeah,
But who knows? Obviously, the 2 teams that we do know have to make changes.
have to 100%.
Have to elevate. They're currently looking for 2. Adding JCap seems pretty likely right now. But then there's players like Octane out there, which I think, why would you not just try and gobble him up like
Yeah.
immediately?
But there's
Whether that would
it's
be a
also
good fit.
like
At least just pick him up as a sub and just like
Even
keep him
Aqua.
there.
Even Aqua.
Yeah, 100%.
But I don't see why Aqua
yeah,
would
but I
consider
don't know
E6
if he
and
wants
not
to be a
elevate.
sub. I don't think he would
Well,
want that.
Let's look at season 3 teams, right? Denial, not making a move anytime soon. FaZe, not making a move anytime soon.
OG.
How do you
OG,
know?
they're dropping
So
off more
one
players if they
one
put a
thing
team.
can happen, which would cause everything to just
You
dismantle.
got that intel? Yeah, like
No, I
OG
don't
made a
got
team
that
change.
intel.
That's the only thing.
Yeah,
That's the
Yo,
only
if
thing I
OG
think.
made it,
If
a
OG
team
made a
change-
team change, that's the only thing. which would
there's
just
no way
cause
that's
everything
happening.
in
Never.
dismay.
Yeah.
I don't think it's
There's
gonna
no
happen.
reason
No.
to.
No, I agree. But I'm just saying. You said what's the thing that would?
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Rise, that's a team that might make moves.
Rise is making moves. We can safely assume
Right.
a team like Rise is going to make moves.
TCM have to make moves.
They have to.
Elevate
They just
have
shot
to.
Matt Cat.
Envy, probably, maybe.
most likely.
Possibly.
TK,
Well, they already
Are they
have.
finished? But are
TK
they
has,
finished?
but
Are they
are they
finished?
finished? That's a real question. Like, is
I'm going to say no.
yeah, I'm gonna say no too.
Okay.
Really?
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
picking up TJ, like, okay, picking up Nameless and Parasite was a lot for TK, and then picking up TJ, you're going even farther. Like, you're like, okay, you know, we're changing our team a lot now. So,
You may as well just stop dabbling in the pool and just basically
exactly,
push
just
yourself
change
in.
the roster already.
You may
yeah.
as well, right? Who does TCM pick up though?
It's hard.
Do they go after Swanee?
Or
Keep it in
do
Europe?
they sell their spot?
Do they sell
we
the
don't
spot?
know.
That's another option. Do they try and go after a North American?
Selling their spot seems like the most like reasonable option, but it's like we heard like think way back when.
But this is the problem. If they sell the spot, there's nothing going for them in Europe.
Right, exactly. Well, yeah, they're
Yeah.
not in the EU Pro League for Gfinity. But I mean, and, like, think about it. Like, think way back when we brought Shane onto the ESR when they first announced that TCM bought the spot. Like, Shane was like this is what I live for. I want to play in North
Yeah.
American Call of Duty
Right.
Pro League. So,
Plus they have the house and everything.
Right.
I don't know
But, I
how
mean,
that's
you
gonna
can go
work
on-
out.
What's that website called?
Craigslist.
No, not that one. There's a website where you can like rent a building for like 2 months. Like,
What
we
website
don't.
is that?
It's like for a temporary stay in cities. I forgot what. it's
Whatever.
I've never
called.
heard of
I
that.
was gonna do it when I
House
first moved to New
website.
York. Anyway,
Ah.
the point is, we don't know that they bought a team. Like we don't. They're things that we don't know.
They
People
have
are
a
just
house.
assuming.
Do they own the house? Do they rent the house?
Like,
Right.
like what is that? Like, we don't really know. But one thing's for sure, there are a lot of questions currently up in arms. People not really sure what exactly is going on with a lot of players and a lot of teams. But all shall be answered in the next few days, I feel. I think we're going to see a lot of changes, and of course we'll be covering everything as it breaks here on the
Of course.
ESR. Should be a good week. I'm hoping nothing happens tomorrow and Wednesday because I'm not in the office. I hope it all happens Thursday.
More Mama Benson time.
More Mama Benson time, but Thursday is when I hope it all goes down. Anyway, that kind of briefly concludes WrestleMania. We're going to be going in depth tomorrow. We're going to cover everything. I already told Matt. I was like, Matt, when you get in the office, I've got 2 hours of WrestleMania for you to just kind of go ham on.
Tons of
Don't
wrestling.
even worry
sandwich.
about it. And I think we may actually see a change happen either later today or tomorrow.
Oh, Intel.
Maybe. Who knows?
Intel.
Anyway, that kind of concludes the WrestleMania and the Season 3 relegation recap. When we come back, though, there was even more Call of Duty action at the weekend. There was a 2K and a 5K. Going to give you all the details. We're back.